Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for February 23rd, 2020. With your host, Spacebreaker2448, and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi.
We have a fucking mess of a batch of 4 episodes.
Yeah, and that's putting it lightly.
Oh my god. Okay, just to say it now, if I miss recapping something, it's because I at a certain point it's just like I don't know how to put this in an order that does not make me just go, here's this and back over here for this and over here for this and here for this and there for that, just ping-ponging all over the place. Because for fuck's sakes.
Well, it's because we've got in a matter of what? Well, no, really, it's this entire 4 episodes, ain't it? Where we kind of have the, like, 4 different plots going at the same time throughout all 4 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Too much, too much, too much.
Like I said last week, it feels like they pushed so hard to get the icons out that they forgot to sprinkle the story in, so now they're just cramming.
Mm-hmm. So this week we're taking a look at episodes 17 through 20. I guess that feeling pretty much covers like how we feel going into this.
I actually just completely forgot how bad of a ping pong match this was. Because that's honestly all this boils down to.
And to think, there's not even that many form changes introduced. I think it was like 2, kind of. Discard.
Yes.
Because we had Himiko and Sanzo, and that's
yeah.
And
because technically we had Boost Musashi, but I don't fully count that either.
Well, we had Boost Musashi, Boost Benkei, Trying to think if we had another boost one. No, we didn't. Just those 2 boost forms.
Because technically that's just the boost base suit with the parka. So
yep.
It is a new form technically, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. And then Spectre Necrom.
That completely breaks Spectre's form changes.
Apparently.
Because it had the Necrom faceplate?
I mean, well, it's because it's Necrom hijacking Spectre.
I don't know, I still feel like it would have been a better touch to, leave part of it there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, this feels like which, now that I'm thinking about it, the way that I know they did, the cheap budget cutting way.
Yeah.
Because how do we solve this? Just put the Necrom helmet on. It'll be fine.
But shall we get rolling?
I guess we shall.
All right, we kick things off with episode 17, Gorgeous, the Queen of Illusions. I feel like that's the wrong title.
No, I think you're right.
I mean, like, within the context of the episode.
Oh, yes, completely.
Within the context of the episode, that's the wrong title. We are not dealing with Houdini.
Nope.
So, we pick up with Takaru pondering the current state of matters, which I think is a theme for about the beginning of every single one of these episodes. So that's kind of the start of every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a Genma who has the powers of Jack the Ripper. To put it that way, to steal people's souls. Because he can create a fog that apparently has a magnetic charge to it, and then he can cut people with his giant scissors. Yep. But as he leaves an area after getting a soul, we see a mysterious girl overlooking things who is not a character and is more or less, this is Himiko, but also Himiko. So for all intents and purposes, she's Himiko. Confusing? Welcome to these 4 episodes. We're just getting started.
Yeah. Confusing? We won't get to it.
Back over with the team, Akari's apparently made breakthroughs on her research while Inari's training to fight, which, if the team-up movie was canon, this would be a thing already, but whatever. Because technically he could fight in that movie, but here he can't fight because he hasn't trained to fight yet.
Because, yeah. Reasons.
Takaru talks to him about the training before Akari drops in to say, hey, this weird girl just showed up in our living room, more or less, and is talking about being able to see the future. And when Takaru goes to try to talk to her, she's like, I can see the future! And passes out. So she's off to a great start on being helpful. So while Takaru's trying to go get her water, Akari and Inari argue over the scientific validity of this, because that's what you do when a girl passes out in front of you after saying she can see the future, is to argue whether she's right or not. But when Takaru gets back, she pops up all fine. But eventually the icon for Himiko takes over and drops the needed info about where the fuck the next attack is for the Genma, because she can do that. I don't think she ever does that again. Like, ever. So that's good to know. And also, Newton just runs away. He just pops out of Takaru's pocket and runs away, because
Reasons
never really
we
get.
actually will kind of get to.
We get to, but we never hear Newton's end of things on this matter.
Yeah.
Which is one of those, like, why do we not hear? Whatever. Anyway, Takaru goes and gives chase. He eventually finds him hanging out on a swing, and nothing comes of this, more or less. So that's the first of 2 scenes of this.
For no reason.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Akari and Inari try to go off to find the Genma at the designated time and place, but they are unfortunately too late. So the girl has already been attacked and her soul's been taken. But they do end up running into a Genma scientist named Igor, who is inspecting the soul in his orb, which apparently can tell him the purity of a soul.
By Genma means.
Okay, sure, mad scientist person. We'll go with that.
So I guess in that case, since it would be in Genma terms, wouldn't that be the impurity of the soul?
But the guy eventually sticks the Gamma on the pair of them, and Onari, wanting to fight it, gets his face all cut up for it. So, yeah, he's proven his usefulness right now.
Also,
this is what
to, him just cutting his face instead of, yoinking his soul right here.
Look, it's not the time yet to yoink his soul. This is when Makoto shows up, because he's been, flat out injured since last episode, but he's fine now. He can walk and fight. So he shows up to fight. Takaru ends up returning to the temple to find Himiko is still in control of the girl's body, asking him if he believes in others. And Takaru's like, yeah, I do believe in others. And then Newton runs away again. But this time he runs downstairs, and Takaru chases him again. And this is when Sage shows up to do his usual stick. And I am so tired of Sage at this point. I am just like, fuck off, old man. We get it. It's Himiko. Fuck you. Why are we doing this in the middle of the episode? Why?
Yeah.
So he does his thing. The only thing of importance that comes out of this is that he doesn't want Kanon to see her or see him, even though Kanon can't see the ghosts because she can't see them in
we find
3 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait, don't you know she can't see you?
Except, here's the problem that I have with that, and I super had a problem with it. She can see the fight later between Takaru, Spectre, and Necrom.
You have a very valid point.
It was when I saw that, I'm like, wow, I thought the show just had continuity problems with outside material. No, it screws itself up.
It's because the writers eventually said, fuck it, we are not applying that rule to the writers at this point.
But they do. But they do later. That's what's bad.
I know!
Like, if she couldn't see the Gamma, fine. But she couldn't see the entire fight later, and it's like...
It's one of those times where it's just like, okay, you put a gimmick in here, but you wrote yourself into a corner, and you just have to just break the rule every now and again in order to make things happen. Which, for me, tells me that maybe you shouldn't have had the rule to start with.
Yeah. I mean, I get the idea. They're quote-unquote ghosts, so you can't see ghosts. Like, I get the funny ha-ha thing there. But why did we actually try to keep the charade past, I don't know, Spider Lantern?
Yeah.
Like, at that point, we should have just introduced the item, maybe had it for a couple more episodes, and then drop it all together.
I think Spider Lantern has had the most appearances outside of the fucking phone. And the only reason the phone keeps appearing is because it's officially Takaru's phone.
Yeah.
Because apparently he didn't have a phone before the goddamn bird phone.
He didn't have a phone before he died.
More or less. Anyway, Kanon tells Takaru that Makoto's gone. So, and also the team calls in for backup, even though they didn't stay, but ran. Okay. That's weird. You usually stay for the fights. Why did you run? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to facilitate this next scene if by you not being there. Anyway, Makoto seems to be getting an edge on the Gamma until the Gamma throws the mist at him and gets it back. But this is when Alan shows up and goes, "Fuck you, you're fighting me now. I'm angry." So Makoto now quickly jobs to Alan. And since Alan is in a mood, he decides, "Hey, I'm going to shove this Necrom icon into your driver and turn you into a puppet." So now Makoto has been turned into a mindless puppet, I guess. This is when we see Yonari and Akari make it back to the temple, only to also see Takaru and Kanon leave. Neither group seeing what the other is doing, so meh. Himiko's there to tell them the next location. Akari heads out to handle it herself because I have science and a gun, and that's all I need. We see Takaru and Kanon make it to the previous location, and they find Makoto's phone because they got separated from him. Which, did they forget that turned into a snake and could probably tell them what happened? And show them what happened like the phone did?
Probably.
Wait, no, that was the clock. The clock actually showed Takaru what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
Yeah. Anyway, Alan also shows up and he's more or less playing dumb to being like, "I don't know where Makoto is. I totally didn't brainwash him." Which is how he's going to act for the entire rest of these 3 episodes for some reason. Like, why are you pretending you didn't do the thing that you did? I don't know what you're gaining by pretending that you didn't do this. Anyway, back over with Akari. She tries out her new gun on the Genma, and it fails because the fog apparently has a magnetic charge to it that disrupts the trajectory of the shot. Because
that's how magnets work.
Yes, maybe, sort of. As an engineer, I'm obliged to say, I don't believe so.
Yeah. As a person with a brain that understands you shoot dust, it doesn't get moved by magnets. I kind of have to call foul on that too.
If that had a big enough magnetic charge to disrupt the shot like that, I think there would be more problems than a clock stopping and that bullet not going somewhere it's not supposed to.
Especially seeing as how they're in a parking garage.
Yeah. Anyway, this is where Igor decides to do his spiel of his backstory of kind of, it's like, I am a scientist that apparently is called the dark arts in the Genma world because I don't know why. That just sounds weird. But more or less, emotions are bad. We don't have emotions. Because that makes our world perfect. So we eliminate emotions.
Except the flashback that we see later, I call foul.
Yeah, more or less.
Foul mood is an emotion.
Foul, angry. Yes. Foul mood is extremely a mood. So yeah, they have their bit of back and forth until Himiko, with the icon in charge, shows up and is like, I can see the future! That's how I knew where you were! And Igor is like, oh goody, someone else to take the soul up. Gemma, get her! And then the icon stops having control of her and leaves.
Because that's the perfect time to do that.
Why did she come? What was her plan? Were you here just to annoy Igor for a half second?
Probably.
Anyway, this more or less leads to Kairi getting her soul taken because she gets smacked with the scissors. And by this point, Takaru has showed up. And Onari, extremely pissed by this, shoves Takaru aside and goes, no, you will fight me! And then fights the Gemma, and wins by landing a shot. But unfortunately, he matrixes too hard and breaks his back.
I do love the fact that, you know, Onari, when he pushed Takaru out of the way, also took that whole heroic speech moment there.
Yeah, I'm just like, Takaru, why is everyone doing your job this week besides you?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Give them a belt instead.
Apparently. So now that our
you know, and that's something weird too. That's been the norm since Boost. That has legitimately been the norm since Boost. Takaru's doing the B plot. They're doing the, you know, important stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I get this arc, them doing that, because this kind of gives them character development.
Yeah.
But why up till now?
Because Takaru is only good for smacking people in the face with his swords. Anyway, now that Onari's down for the count, Takaru finally transforms and is fighting the Genma. Only for Igor to go, fuck you, I can turn the souls into corporeal forms and make them try to choke you out. Because that's a thing I can do with my magic orb. Okay. I'm pretty sure you also never do this again. But this is when Himiko finally goes, hey, I'm going to give you my icon. So here's my icon. And with the icon in hand, he goes Himiko form. Dispels the souls and returns them back to the proper bodies. And then makes quick work of the Genma. Because it's the end of the fucking episode. We need to move on.
Except we don't technically move on.
No. This goes for another episode, more or less. Because as we're ending, Newton runs away again for the third time.
In one episode.
Yes. And Alan is overseeing everything in a not fucking hidden fashion. He's literally on this bridge that's like 5 feet above them. It's like, how do you people not notice him when he's casting his shadow on you?
That truthfully, Newton is up in the air above Takaru, so he would be looking up anyhow and should have saw him.
But that's episode 17. Which brings us to episode 18. Reverse Mysterious Science. Kanon is out looking for Makoto, which is going to be a trend for her for the rest of this batch. Because that's her job.
Because he's mind washed right now.
Yep. Meanwhile, Akari is thinking about Igor's words from the previous episode and talking to Nari about it. I don't remember the conversation because it's one of those points where I'm just like, oh god, I don't care. You are doing your arguing thing again. I tend to tune you out when you do your arguing thing. Anyway, Takaru shows up to go, I can't find Newton, which, to be fair, I'm not surprised. It's a very small thing to be losing.
Except, as we find out later, Newton's actually hiding in plain sight.
Yes.
Where Takaru should have found him.
So this is when Iron and Kairi more or less speak for the icons about why Newton keeps running. And it's more or less of, one is a man of science, one is a woman of magic and spiritualness. They cannot mix because that is illogical. I guess, for some reason. Look, it only gets about that deep.
Well, it's the big battle that we see all the time with, people for and against concepts like evolution and religion kind of deal. And it's that battle, but they don't do it in that fashion. Because reasons.
And one side doesn't even comment on this fact. And like I said, it never gets below that level. We never get into personal reason why, so it doesn't help, and I kind of tune it out because I'm like, oh my god, I don't care. I get it. You're science. You're magic. You don't mix. I get it. And we move on.
Friendship and magic mix.
Yeah, we've seen that. But this is when Himiko pulls Takaru into her icon and more or less tells him the same thing. So we have like 2 scenes worth of the exact same information being told to us. With no real more elaboration on that. But this is when Takaru gets teleported just directly to the Genma world because there's a portal right next to where he's standing and he walks into it.
Maybe... Like, that's, like, super... I don't understand that one.
Takaru can't be here for like half this episode, so we're gonna teleport him to the Genma world to get rid of him for half an episode. Because all he does in the Genma world is stand around and look at stuff on the top of a building.
Yep.
And for those wondering what the Genma world looks like, it is a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Mm-hmm. More or less, think Doom. It's that, but less gooey. And more like sandstorm desert-like. Meanwhile, we check in with Igor, as he's apparently taken the Genma's power for himself because he has the prototype version of Necrom's Henshin device, which allows him to use Genma icons to use the Genma parkas. He just has this.
I don't think we ever know why, do we?
No. I don't think we do. He just has it.
Huh.
But anyway, Alan doesn't like this, but tough shit. He doesn't answer to our good prince here. He answers to the other prince, Adele. This is when the team is informed that it's still going on. You didn't solve the problem. You need to go solve the problem. And since they have a lack of Takaru, they're on their own. This is when we check in with Canon, as Alan is trying to play nice with her because I don't know why. I guess Alan likes her. I don't know if we ever get into their relationship at all. Granted, I don't think we ever get into Canon's character. Did we ever get into Kanon's character?
I don't know. Because, like, truthfully, here next batch, past that's going to be all new for me. So I have no idea.
I can't think of any point. I can think of one point, but it has nothing to do with her character that was related to her. And it's only there for memes. So anyway. So Alan agrees to go look for Makoto with Kanon. I think at this point. He does it at some point. So he's helping, but not help. I don't. Whatever. We also get a flashback to when Makoto and Kanon first arrived in the Genma world and were taken in by Alan's sister, Alia. And Alia and Alan are the exact same age, so... Or the exact same age they are now, so I guess they don't really age. But over with an Arctic.
That's a good point. Yeah, Alan makes a comment about apparently the passage of time there is the same as here. So that's... a little weird.
Yeah. Over with an Arctic Akari, they're discussing the viability of Akari's weapon, her leaf blower with a new cartridge. And if they can handle things without Takaru. This is when we see that Newton's been hiding out in the lab and Inari takes him. But Narita calls in because he found Igor, but he got his soul stolen in the process, so he's out for the rest of the episode. So our team heads out to find him. And this is when Takaru, after idling around the rooftop of this one building in this hellscape, finally gets boarded back to the real world. Not to the place he left at, but just outside so he can meet up with the mailman. So the mailman can tell him, oh yeah, I saw Kanon with this guy in a uniform or something. More or less he tells him that Kanon's with Alan. So we catch up with Kanon as she's introducing Alan to Takoyaki and Grandma, who, is the best side character in these episodes, to be honest. I enjoy the fact that she no-sells every single line of Alan's. It's just like, you're twice my age? You silly kid, you. But Takaru eventually shows up, so Alan, who is in a mood, goes and fights him, showing off Sanzo for the first time. He also pulls in Puppet Makoto, so it's 2v1. Takaru and Makoto, Takaru and Kanon try to talk Makoto down, but it only works by so much before Makoto and Alan leave. So this fight goes nowhere. Kanon, of course, is a bit heartbroken by this. But this is when Yursen shows up to be fucking useful and go, by the way, you should go deal with the Genma that your friends are about to fight. Thanks, Yursen. Thanks for being useful for fucking once. Outside of summoning a thing. Anyway, checking in with them finally. Kari is ready to fight. Ready to fight Igor with her weapon. But unfortunately, it's blocked on the first shot because she doesn't believe hard enough, is the show's implication. I would assume it's because he fired the gun at the person staring her in the face. And he blocked it. So because of this, Onari ends up taking a shot for her to protect her and gets his soul jacked. And with this new motivation, Akari actually hits home with her weapon this time because she believes harder now. I don't know. Takaru at this point has showed up. He's going to transform. Newton's watching all of this go down. Igor drops the fog on them. But Himiko is not strong enough this time because he's calibrated the fog to be stronger. So Akari tells him, use Newton in combination to dispel the fog. And a speech later, and the two of them team up, and they send Igor packing, and that's pretty much the episode. So, how do you feel halfway through? Just yeah, I feel that. This feels like a drag of 2 episodes, to be honest.
To be fair, this feels like a drag of 4 episodes altogether, but yeah.
You know what's even worse is that I know that the Gemma next week is going to be reappearing more times in the future. He kind of becomes a recurring character.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I believe his name is QB. I think it's QB. I'm probably going to call him QB anyway. But yeah, I'm just like, oh, wow, there's a lot happening here, and I am kind of losing investment in most of what's going on here. I think I perked up when Grandma started no-selling Alan and just being like, "Ah, you crazy kid, you funny. You're funny. You're funny saying you're twice my age." But otherwise, I'm just like, oh my god, Takaru's doing nothing. He's been relegated to fucking sideline because this isn't his 2 episodes. And we just have to get rid of him constantly for dumb reasons. So, anything else?
Nah.
Alright. Moving on! We got episode 19! Explosions paint from your heart! We see that Alan still has control of Makoto, who's more or less his yes man because he just nods yes to everything Alan says, and I assume he's just nodding yes because Alan wants him to nod yes. Anyway, we check in with Akari, continuing her research, and she gets no results on the piece of the Genma icon that she has. And she's happy that it's all unknown, because science! The thrill of discovery! Okay, sure. Anyway, Igor's continuing his plans under the orders of Adele. And he has again turn a building into some blocky art abstract mess in order to trap everyone inside for what he calls the Demia Project. We'll get back to that at some point in the future. I don't remember when. I don't even remember what this project eventually results in, to be honest. But at this point, he sends the Gemma off because he needs him to distract everyone else. So the Gemma's going to go distract everyone else by just painting stuff, which he does because he paints a bunch of round stuff. A bunch of which, in this case, is a bunch of apples at the local market where Inari is, and then he starts painting Inari's head because he's bald and it's big and round. And of course, Inari freaks out about this and runs. I lost my train of thought. Okay. Inari ends up arriving back, and he shows the team his head, thinking that it's still the painted mess, but it's normal. At which point, the team find out that this is happening all around town, so they're off to go investigate it. And they end up finding the Gemma at a playground, where he's painted an octopus playground thing into a blocky mess. And Takaru for whatever reason, these 2 episodes decides to befriend the Genma and tries to stop him long enough to have a conversation with him, which doesn't work because the Genma's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I just want to paint, and just leaves. And meanwhile, for more or less the entire 2 episodes, Igor's working in the background to take over this company that's called Deep Connection. So he's got one of the Genma taking over the president's body, and then he'll have the board of directors taken over, and he'll also hijack all the servers. For what reason? I don't know, and I don't remember, but that's happening during the course of these 2 episodes, so just roll with it. But back over to the team, they think Takaru should just blow up the monster because he's a Genma. All the Genma we ran into have been a problem. Why are you giving this one slack? But Takaru thinks he can reason with him. So that's going to happen. Kanon at this point is like, I'm going to leave and go find my brother because that's my plot for these 2 episodes, so bye. Checking in with Alan, he's getting no use out of his puppet because it pretty much is just saying yes to everything. And runs into Grandma again. And Grandma offers him some free takoyaki, and he declines. And once more, Grandma is best character because once more, she's just like, you're a crazy person, but you're a nice kid. McCannon shows up to talk, but the takoyaki turns into the painting stuff because the Genma's there and he's painting takoyaki. So this is when Takaru shows up to talk, but Alan's in the mood to fight. So we have more or less a big giant brawl at this point between the 2. Pub and Makoto shows up once more. It's a handicap match. Igor shows up to get the Genma back, but the guy just wants to paint. He just and doesn't want to do Genma stuff anymore. Makoto tries to go for a finisher on Takaru, but Kanon gets in the way. So Alan ends up having the 2 of them retreat because he doesn't want to hurt Kanon. But Takaru still has to do more of a fight, so he ends up having to fight Igor with Benkei to try to win over our painting Genma. Igor gets defeated, but gets away, and our team ends up regrouping because the paint Genma also gets away. So, no progress. And the episode ends with Benkei giving some advice to Takaru. Which brings us to episode 20, Explode! Flames of Friendship. Alan's father is gathering the family for a meeting with that person, as they say. It's an important person. Spoilers, it's a person we know. Double spoilers. It's... Oop.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, I was about to say, double spoilers. It's fucking Sage.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah. We check in with the team discussing current events. Kairi, looking over all of the locations that have been painted so far, figures out, oh, they're all big round things. Or just round things. This building is not a round thing. Let's go investigate this not round place. So her and Kairi are off to, or her and Nari are off to do that, while Takaru goes out to find Kenon. We see Igor continue his hostile takeover with the things I said earlier, because I'm trying to summarize some of these one-off plot threads as much as I can. But this is when the local mailman points Takaru to the Genma, while Kairi and Nari get nothing out of the company. Though they will show up there, not talk to anyone, and then leave. Well, not talk to anyone on screen and then leave. Because that's how important that is. Takaru ends up finding the Genma, tries to hash things out with the Genma, gets nowhere. Meanwhile, Kanon tries more or less the approach of, I won't leave you alone, give me my brother back, with Alan. Which, I'm not sure if she really knew that was going to work. Like, I'm not sure what her whole plan was. Do you know what her whole plan was on this?
No.
Okay. Good. I thought it was the only one. It's just like, your plan is to just walk around with him forever until he just gives up. Okay. Meanwhile, Takaru more or less tries some monk wisdom with the Genma, fails. Igor shows up to take the painter back, or take the painter out, because he's developing emotions and stuff, and can't have that. So Takaru has to fight Igor. Kanon and Alan end up nearby where this fight's happening, and of course Alan can see it, but Kanon can't because reasons, even though we've established earlier that she can see the riders fighting, so she should at least see Takaru, but whatever. Who cares? Anyway, he ends up getting some insight into how who Takaru is from Kanon. And as we see Takaru end up protecting our Genma from Igor, who ends up leaving for now. At this point, Kanon and Alan end up leaving and going to some place, and everyone's going to more or less converge on this location because Takaru will be told by the mailman that they're here, and then I guess the rest of the team will show up here because Takaru told them. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, Alan has a bit of a change of heart from Kanon until Takaru shows up and he's like, "You told him we were here." And I'm like, why is here even important? Didn't you just walk here to get rid of her? Or just walk here randomly because you just walk randomly everywhere? Anyway, he has Puppet Makoto fight Takaru some more. And Takaru decides to just job out on this one to try to break him out of it. So he ends up de-transformed. Makoto lines up one more shot. He takes it. And the Genma ends up taking the shot for Takaru because that's what he believed friendship is. And he dies. I'm going to put in quotation because spoilers, he doesn't die, because of course he doesn't. No, he's got to stick around and have a buddy cop routine with another Genma that we've been introduced to already. So at this point, this whole thing gives Takaru and Kanon a chance to restrain Makoto long enough so that the heroic icons, specifically Nobunaga, which sucks Takaru in, to be like, "We will fight with you," and then spit him back out. To open up Makoto's Ghost Driver, take out the Necrom icon, give it back to Alan by just throwing it at him, which I don't know why you just didn't throw it somewhere else and make him go fetch it. So Makoto's free. Still injured from where he was like 3 or so days ago. I don't know. All I know is that one of the times we started on day 69. But Makoto's free. But unfortunately, he and Takaru have to now fight Alan. So the three of them transform. Alan's got the edge on the two of them because, he can turn into water. Which the two of them more or less go, "Oh, right, we have an electric icon." So Makoto goes Edison and electrocutes him. Which lets them get the edge on him. Because water and electricity. But this is when Alan has had enough of this bullshit and charges a super move, but he gets called away for the family meeting, so he just fucks off. And then we see that the Genma's alive and everyone's happy, and Makoto then reveals that, "Oh yeah, my body's still in the Genma world, and I probably need to go fetch that before Alan stabs me and then stabs me." We end the episode with the family getting together, and they're having a meeting with the guy named Edith, who is in fact fucking Sage. Yay! How'd you feel about this second half?
Like more aggravated because of the whole canon thing.
Oh my god. I'm remembering how pointless she is. I'm like, oh god, they have nothing for you so much, so often. I'm glad she gets to be in a Sentai show as one of the Rangers now, because now she gets to do more. But wow, she does not get to do much besides talk about her brother, try to get her brother back, and talk to some old lady about her takoyaki. Which, by the way, I have tried takoyaki. My Japanese class, one day for the class, had us all bring in like Japanese food, and one of the people made takoyaki. And I had it. It was pretty good. It's like I forget what it actually is, but I think it's like deep or like it's fried squid, I guess, like chopped squid or something like that. I don't remember. It was good. But anyway, yeah, Canon is fucking useless. And this entire 2 episodes boils down to, well, you must win over this Genma, who isn't sticking around. Because I distinctly remember there's an episode where him and another Genma, who has also turned good, just fuck off and leave for several dozen episodes.
I mean, we don't really need them anyhow.
Yeah, we have enough side characters that we're not doing anything fucking with at this moment. We don't need 2 more. Please, stop. You are not Forze. You do not know how to balance your supporting cast members.
At all.
And Forze was stretching it at times with its supporting cast. So yeah. Anything else?
I can't really think of anything.
Alright then. Next time, we're right back into this because we're watching 4 more episodes of Ghost. We ain't got a movie for a while. For like a couple weeks or so.
Unfortunately.
Granted, it's not like I expect that movie to be that good because it's Kamen Rider Ichigo in that wonderful Kamen Rider superhero Tyson time slot that is fucking cursed. I swear.
Yeah, but at least it'd be a change of pace and something else for us to gripe about.
Yes. But yeah, now, if you like what you're seeing, drop us a follow. We really appreciate it. Chipping away that follow go at Saloon on Twitter. We'll get you to Twitter and updates on when we go live. And exclamation point Discord and chat. Get you the Discord link. Drop by, say hi, drop us a question in the Dropbox. We'll answer it here or on the other podcasts. Whichever one is more relevant. That'll do it for me, for Tommy. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week for more of this fucking show.